Welcome to the Ann Lynn Show with your host, Ann and Lynn. On today's show, we welcome Mr. Bob Wells of Cheap RV Living. It's going to be a great show. And now, here are Ann and Lynn. Welcome to the Ann Lynn Show. I am Ann.
And I'm Lynn.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're just waiting for Mr. Wells to join us. He should be in here shortly. And so in the meantime, everybody get your questions ready. Get your questions ready for Mr. Wells. And Lynn?
Yes.
What do you have to say today? How are you today?
I'm just fine. It's really a different time to be our show, but it's great.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm
Me
glad
too.
to be on time. But I do want to give a shout out to Sandra in Texas, Barefoot Lass, Jean W. I tell you, they're starting to come in.
Great.
And I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. And I'm just going to do a little check-in here to see if I've gotten any messages. But I know he's going to pop in here any second. And
Yes.
It's going to be an exciting show today with Mr. Bob Wells.
Yes.
So we're just waiting.
Cheap RV Living.
Yes.
And you know, he has so many outlets. I watch him on YouTube, but I know that he is in so much social media.
Oh my goodness.
Live, just different. You can find Mr. Wells everywhere.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
The Major is here. Oh, it's glad. Yes, we are live, the Major. Yes. Welcome. We're waiting for Mr. Wells. He'll be joining us momentarily.
Yes.
He is on the West Coast.
Yes, he is.
So we're just waiting for him.
Yes.
So if they have any questions, start getting them written down, because we're going to ask Mr. Wells questions today. Anything that you may have. Oh, from London, the Major from London.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, all the way across the ocean there.
Across the pond. Yes.
Oh. Yes, we are live. Yes, yes. He wanted to know if we're live. Yes, we are.
We are.
It's a little different time for us, the Major. It's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But we want to accommodate our guests, and so we'll be here anytime our guests can come on.
Yep, we're just waiting.
It's because Alaska Prepper was 4 hours behind us, and so we want to accommodate. We don't want them getting up at 5 in the morning to be on the show, or 6 in the morning to be on a 10 o'clock show, do we?
No.
So
we're just waiting here. We're just waiting. So let's see. Who else have we got here today? Jean W.
Yes.
Who else, Lynn?
Well, Barefoot Lass and Sandra in Texas. Sandra in Texas is here. We have 11 people here, but sometimes we just come in and can watch too.
Yeah.
I'll give a shout out in case our cousin is in the house today.
Yes.
Our cousin.
I know.
Yes.
Mr. Bodine.
And he is going to be he's going to be a guest, I think, in the not too far distant future. How's that?
Well, I hope so.
Oh, thank you for loving the show. We enjoy putting it on. We love being here. We love with all of you. Today I had to tell Ann, though, I'm a little bit nervous about Mr. Bob Wells, because I have been watching him on YouTube for so many years. And he's just a really neat fellow. And we couldn't be more excited. Oh,
I see him. He's coming. So I'm going to let him get his
Hi, Helen. Hi, Twinkie D.
He's going to join us here. I'm just getting his camera situated, everybody. But
okay, and I gave a shout out to Helen and a shout out to Twinkie D. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
We're
Twinkie.
glad that you could all be joining us.
Yes, we're going to give him just a moment. We're just so excited.
I know. I think I'll be tongue-tied.
I know. All right, okay. Are you ready? All right, there he is.
Oh my goodness. Welcome.
Welcome. There you go. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
How are
Welcome,
you?
Mr. Wells. Oh,
it is so wonderful to have you with us today on our show.
Thank you.
We'll introduce ourselves to you. I am Lynn.
And
You
are who?
We're tongue-tied.
We're excited to meet you. To meet you. Oh, we're starstruck. She's my sister Ann, and I'm her sister Lynn. Yes. And may we call you Bob, or would you prefer Mr. Wells?
Bob's fine.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Well, welcome to the Ann Lynn Show. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we are real life sisters. And I am up in New York State, and my sister's out in the Midwest. And we come together every week, and we do a live stream, and we like to interview different people, and we like to uplift each other and be positive and try to spread some joy to people. And I know that you do that on your channel too. And
yes, you do.
Both of us, we have been watching your channel for years and years, because I think, we'd kind of like to live the lifestyle, although it's, right now it's not what we can do, but we kind of live vicariously through your channel, and we just love it, don't we, Lynn? And our brother,
we sure do.
Oh, our brother is at work right now. He works second shift, but he religiously watches your channel. He just loves you to pieces. And when I told him that we were going to have you on today, he was
super excited.
Was super excited too. So,
well, Bob, how long have you lived the nomadic lifestyle? I know it's probably been for a day or two, hasn't it? And how did you start?
Yeah.
I started in 1995. I was going through a divorce. And because of the divorce, I could no longer support two households. I had to create a second household. And so it was just nearly impossible. And so I decided I was a camper and a backpacker, and I knew all about how to camp out of a tent for long periods of time. And so I thought, why can't I live out of a van? And so I bought a van and moved into it, and I lived in that van for 6 years.
Wow.
And then eventually I went back to living in a house and hated every second of it. And then eventually in 2008, I moved back into a vehicle and have been living in a vehicle ever since.
Wow, my goodness. And speaking of vehicles, I understand right now that you have a sweepstakes going for your van?
Not yet.
Is that not? You will.
Will be. It's not going yet. I'm in the process of changing vehicles. I'm going to switch to an ambulance. To make an ambulance a home. And when I get into it, I have to live in my van. Until then, I will donate my van to Homes and Wheels Alliance, and they will do a sweepstakes on it.
Right, and is it like HOWA? HOWA?
The 501c3 is Homes on Wheels Alliance. It's we're dedicated to helping people who are caught in there's a real vice grip in this country of people who are low wages, because we're a low wage nation for the most part, for the majority.
Sure.
And we're a high rent nation for the majority. And so a lot of people are caught in a vice grip between the two, and they can't survive. And so there are people we want to serve.
I know, and I know that you help so many people right now. You're going to help four? You're going to have two. You're going to help four people to have a new vehicle.
Right. In April, we are going to. We've purchased two of them, and we still need to purchase two more minivans. We will get them ready to live in, and then we will donate them to people who are are in need of a new home, cut
Right.
in the vice grip, and that we think will have good success in living in a vehicle.
Right. You said they've got to be able to sustain themselves once they receive that vehicle. And I've
Right.
watched some of your builds. There's been many, many vehicles that you've given to people and helped them, hasn't there?
Yes, not enough. We want to do a whole lot more, but we're off to a good
Ah,
start.
it's wonderful. Anne, did you have something you'd like to ask Bob?
Well, I wanted to know how you got started on YouTube,
Well,
or
I
when
started
you.
a roundabout way. I wanted to share. I love living mobile, living in a vehicle. I love how cheap it is. I love how free you can be doing it. You have the least amount of, you have the most amount of freedom in your life. Actually, on a day-to-day basis, you get to make the most choices about your life by living in a vehicle, by reducing the amount of money you need. Money controls us. Our lives are controlled by the need for the next dollar to pay for the rent, to pay for the food. If you can reduce the amount of money you need, you can greatly increase your freedom and your choices. So I wanted to
Yes.
tell people that and let people know they had an alternative. And so in 2005, I started my website, cheaprvliving.com. And it was a big success in 2008 when the economy crashed with the
Hmm.
Great Recession. I was there. And so I was flooded with people saying, I've lost my job. Now I've lost my home. I don't know where I'm going to live. Can you help me? And I had an answer. And
Yes, you
so it
did.
has always been my goal to help as many as possible, to get that word out to as many as possible. And YouTube is the way to communicate and reach the maximum number of people.
Well,
In a post, I would reach maybe 50,000 people and in a on the website on a blog post, but on YouTube I can reach millions with
Yeah.
a video.
yes, you can. I have a question already. Jean is asking, has it been harder to find some place to camp since the pandemic?
If
Has
you
it been
want to
hard?
camp in a campground, yes, because the campgrounds they were closed. They were literally closed there for a while,
Wow.
and more people are using campgrounds. So it is getting steadily harder to use campgrounds. If you want to spend the money on a campground, then that is getting harder.
Yes.
But no, I camp on government recreational land, BLM or national forest. So there's national forest near you, I'm sure, and you can go and camp on those. It's something called dispersed camping. That means it's free.
Okay.
And anyone can
Wow.
go find. Most of it is open to dispersed camping. You can go find a nice place and just camp there. Of course, there are normal restrictions. You have to leave it clean, leave it cleaner than you found it. And normally there's a 14-day limit, but that's not a problem. Most of us move earlier than 14 days. So there are a few basic
Oh,
restrictions, but you can camp for free. And so that's
okay.
how you can, and that has not been impacted virtually at all by the pandemic.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Jean also said she likes the no build builds.
Right. A lot of us don't have the skills. You see a lot of YouTubers with the incredibly nice, little beautiful little cabins built into a van, and a lot of us don't
Yes.
have the money or the skill or the
Yeah.
time, and so I try to show both.
Yes. Yes, you do. You show, and then how many gals like in senior citizen ladies are living in their vehicles and their cars, and they've made them perfectly home for them. And not that, but just the vans also. And I've also been watching Box D Van, and well, her name is Dee, and I
Oh,
just think she's just a sweetheart. I enjoy her videos and watching and being in her life. And then from also, I think I found you. Well, I know that you've been around much longer, but I did started watching Carolyn's RV life, and
right,
I know that she's been a speaker at, is it RTRs, the
right.
women's RTR? Can you tell us about those? I know this year was virtual, but
Well,
what are those, Bob?
we tend to be kind of introverted people for the most part,
Yes.
most nomads. but not all by any means. There are a lot of us that, and we all, even if we're introverted, uh, we need community. We need people around.
Yes.
We need people that care about us and that we care about. And
Yes.
so one of the things I've always wanted to do was create the opportunity for people to get together and meet each other and build community, because it's critical to be a full, healthy, happy human being. And so 11 years ago now, I started something called the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. And it was a gathering in the desert on desert land. So I've never charged a penny for it. And it started small, of course. Back then, I didn't have a lot of viewers, or didn't have any viewers, but I had readers. It started at about 50 people, and it grew steadily into the hundreds. And then once I went on YouTube,
Yes.
it grew into the thousands.
Yes.
My first year after I had gone on YouTube, we had 5,000 people, and the second year we had 10,000 people. So that's a big group of people out in the desert. So
Yeah.
Yes. That's a community. That's a small
It is.
city. That's
It
about
is.
like what I live in right now, a small city.
Wow.
Well, and I know for the women, and well, for each one though, you have classes, and I've watched
Yes.
so many of my husband and I, he's our cameraman. Tony and I have watched, and I try to apply what I live in a mobile home, and we've been here over 20 years. And for us as a retired couple, it's like you said, rent is high. This is where we've able to make it right now. And I just want to show that we're trying to prepare. We have some food supplies, but there's just so many things that you talk about. I mean, like, what about our water? What about electricity? And you showed a basic. This is a solar panel, 4-panel.
Right.
Just the basic to charge our this will charge our cell phones if we're in kind of not Tornado Alley, that's Oklahoma, I think, but we still have a lot of bad weather. This is that TP solar
Yes.
that you recommended, and so we try to pick up when we can. We try to pick up some of the items that and try to work in what you've shared. And I know that you have classes on safety for how to handle yourselves out there. And it's just been, for someone who's in their house right now, you have so much that applies to me personally and my husband. And I want to say thank you, really, definitely. We may not be ready to step out as full-time nomaders yet, but you've given so much good instruction that we can just take that and use it with us too, though.
Well, I'm afraid I give the impression sometimes that it's all or nothing, and that isn't true. You can live and have a home base and just apply some of the ideas. For example, if I don't know what you're driving, but you drive a daily driver. If you take that in on a minivan, you can start taking trips right in the minivan and do a no-build, put the seats down, and start camping. Just going locally camping.
That's right. I think our next vehicle, we've always enjoyed a van. It's been more of the minivans, not the large vans, but we've always enjoyed one. Right now we have a smaller vehicle. Well, it's a Toyota, but our next one, probably our last one, I'd like to go up. Yes. Have it a little bit larger so we can have those options in life. Like you said, it's about living your best life and having options.
Right. Wherever you are, just live your best life. That's really the key.
Yes.
I know that last year, back in early March, we had a situation for my husband and myself where a loss of job. And for 9 months, he was out of work. And so the idea of selling out and selling everything and going to an RV, I mean, that crossed our mind, Sometimes you find yourselves in these situations, like you said, you were going through a divorce. I've gone through a divorce before. And, you just don't know what to do. And it's hard. You can't keep two houses going. And, but when you have a loss of job, and that's the only, pretty much the sole income, this might be an alternative lifestyle for a lot of people. I mean, it really kind of crossed our minds. It was like,
It did.
was this the time for us to do this or not? And lo and behold, another job opportunity came along. We had to move, and that's another story. But that's always an option that I think of as kind of a backup option. You never know. And but I know a lot of people do it as they do it on purpose. They do it as a choice, right off the bat, which may be even better. You don't want to. But I do want to say that I watch your community tab on YouTube, on your community tab, and you've been posting these little 1-minute videos. And today was all about kindness and compassion. And I want to say that that was a very uplifting video. I appreciated it. And that's exactly what we try to do here at our channel, is to be kind and compassionate towards people, because we do want to help other people. We aren't here to we're just here to uplift. And I want to tell you thank you, because that is what you do on your channel. And doesn't he, Lynn?
Yes,
And
yes, absolutely.
And also, I know that there's, I don't know, are we allowed to talk about upcoming movie event, or are we allowed to talk about that?
No, not
Okay.
really.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to switch subjects. But so there's a lot of people, aren't there? That a lot of ladies. How many people have you interviewed?
Oh, I don't know, a lot.
You've
I do one a
interviewed-
week every week, and I've been doing it for 3 years. So I have posted at least 150 or 200
Yeah.
videos.
Wow. You have, so what was one of your most interesting interviews? Do you have one that sticks out?
Well, you mentioned Dee, and I think
Yes.
I think Dee is one of the most interesting. In fact, I just finished interviewing her again. I think I've interviewed her for 4 years, or either 4 or 5 years straight now, because she has come up against a lot of obstacles. She started out in her car because that's all she could afford, and then she's had a lot of health issues, and she has just came through all of them, and she hasn't just survived them; she's thrived. She's made a wonderful life, made friends, built a community. It's really amazing what she's done. I think she's the most inspiring, I would say, Dee.
Dee.
Yes.
So when you're living out there, how do you get your mail? I know that you get your mail, and how do you handle your health, like going to a doctor and those kind of things, and dentists and that kind of thing?
With mail, you absolutely have to have an address, a mailing address, and a home address. And there are ways you do it. Mostly with a mailing address, we use a mail forwarder. It's a company. Well, the UPS stores. They're basically mail forwarders. They're not specialists at mail forwarding, but they do it. So they'll receive your mail and forward it to you. But there are specialists that kind of just emphasize boaters or RVers, and they receive your mail, hold it, and then send it to you wherever you want it. And that's how we get around that. But you have to have an address.
Okay.
As far as what was your other question?
Well, like medical and dental, and so like health needs.
Right.
How do you handle those out there?
Well, we're snowbirds, which means we move with the seasons. So there are certain times of the year where you want to be somewhere where it's warm, and then when it's cold, you want to be somewhere warm, and when it's hot, you want to be somewhere where it's cool. So we travel through the year, most of us. That's the primary goal, how we stay comfortable. And so you get a doctor or dentist on that route that you can see. So in the spring, you're moving because it's getting too hot in the desert. And in the fall, you're moving because it's getting too hot, too cold in the mountains. And so if you follow basically the same route, you'll pass through the same area twice a year. And so you usually get a doctor there. And then on your way north, you're a snowbird. You're flying basically the same route. Once you get north, you can go all over. But until then, you set a doctor along your route, and that's your doctor. And you see him. That makes it easy to see him twice a year.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. That is really neat.
Yeah.
Um,
So if you think
yeah,
about it, the same bird flies over your house, north or
yeah,
south, every
yeah,
every spring, every fall.
Yeah.
And if he were a person, he would get a doctor in somewhere he
Yeah.
flew and be there twice a year.
yes.
Well, that's
Well,
good. Where do you go in the north when you go? What states do you have one that you stay at, or you just traveling the northern states?
Well, it's all up to the person. I'm a West
Yeah.
Coast person. I like the West
Okay.
Coast. So I'm
Uh,
going to Colorado, Oregon, Washington, all the Western states,
oh, yes,
because they all
yes.
have high elevation where I can go up. It's elevation that makes you cool.
Yes.
For every 1,000 feet that you go up, it drops 3.5 degrees temperature. And so if you go up to 10,000 feet, you've dropped 35 degrees. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking
Wow.
to go up in elevation. And then the
Okay.
further north, also the cooler it gets too. Uh, but you can
Wow.
do that on the East Coast as well. So, for example, you don't have to, if you go to Florida in the summer and be pretty
Yes.
warm, and then in this, I mean, did I say winter? You go to Florida in the
Yes.
winter, and then in the
right,
summer
yes,
you go north. And actually,
right.
where a good place is North Carolina and Tennessee in the Blue Ridge, because you can get up
Yes.
fairly high, and it's really a beautiful country, of course.
Oh,
Oh.
yes,
But
we
you can
love
go all the way
Tennessee.
to Maine or New Hampshire, and there's a lot of
Okay.
mountains and far north up there.
And
Now,
so,
we were raised, oh, I'm sorry, Ann.
no, go
We
ahead.
were raised in Michigan, and with the upper peninsula of Michigan is always cool too in the
Hmm.
summer. We
Right.
used to go up to Mackinac Island up that way through there and visit every year, at least once, if not twice. And it was always, of course, we've been gone from there for years and years and years, but that was always a good place. The upper peninsula is always cool too up there in the summertime. But
Mhm.
it's
Right.
probably
So,
off that eastern beat, but mhm,
well, no, it's not really that all that far out of the way. I
not
know a
too
lot of
far.
people from Michigan, Minnesota, the
Yeah.
upper area and up near the Canadian border, who are coming down to the desert every year. And
Yes.
the great thing is that you're following this basic same route. You'll vary it year to year depending on your interest, but we end up in the same areas, so we have old friends that we see every year. And so I know a lot of people from that area.
Wow. Wow. Well, I have a sister-in-law in Yuma, Arizona,
Mhm.
and living there. But I know it's going to be a great place to visit one of these winters.
Oh yeah, it's Yuma, Arizona has the most days of sunshine in the entire country. They're number one.
I
Three
did not
over
know that.
Yeah, over 300 days of sunshine in Yuma every year. So if you get tired of rain or dark, or Yuma's the place to go.
Well,
It's,
I
it's
actually was
raining
in,
today.
yeah, how is
it's
it?
it's raining in New York.
In New
Yeah.
York.
Well, we're
I will
yeah.
just say, Bob, I was in the Army stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington. That's where I met my husband, had my first son while I was active duty. And I'll say you have to almost be born in Washington State. It's so goes right to your bones if you're not careful up there.
Yeah, I couldn't spend a winter in Washington State, or on
Ooh.
the west side at least.
Yeah, yes. One time I went across to Yakima firing on Yakima, and that across that mountain range, it's different over there, isn't it?
It is, yeah,
And they
still
have the
cold, a lot
apples.
of snow, but different.
Yes, totally different. Same state. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Anne, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's quite a way. How much time do we have with you, Mr. Wells?
A few more minutes.
Okay,
All right,
wonderful. Well, I want to ask our people in chat if they have any questions.
I
So
have
let's.
one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and now this is I'm okay, but I'll just read it. What is the average monthly cost for living in a van, boondocking, food, etc.?
Well, I get to ask that question a lot. That's a normal question, and I
Yes,
cannot give you an answer. I can tell you, I know people who live for as little as 800 a month,
yes.
and I know people who make 2,000 a month and can barely survive on it. So it's really up to you and what you think is a necessity and what is a luxury. And so if you think we all have different ideas of what is a necessity and what is a luxury. So I
Okay.
can't really give you an answer. I can tell you that if you absolutely have to, you can live on about $800 a month. You must have an emergency fund, a reserve
Yes.
fund, because you'll nibble away at that. That's just keeping you alive month to month. So, but things will come up. Eventually, you need an oil change, and you'll need new tires, and so that will nibble away. That won't come out of your $800 a month. That'll come out of
Right.
your emergency fund. So
Emergency.
you have to have a substantial emergency fund, and you also will probably have to stop every once in a while and work and replenish the emergency fund. So that is really critically important. That, and I see a lot of people that are just forced to come out here without any backup, no extra
Yeah.
money at all, and
Yeah.
they, it's without exception. Eventually, something's going to happen, and you need a backup.
Absolutely.
So that's really important to have an
Absolutely.
emergency fund. Let me throw in here that another thing that Homes and Wheels Alliance, the 501c3, does
Yes.
is we had two incredibly generous people donate $10,000 each.
Wow.
So we put
Wow.
$20,000 into an emergency fund. So if you are on the road and you come across, all of a sudden your starter goes out and you just don't have $300 for a starter. Well,
Yes.
you can call the emergency fund and you'll take it to the shop and we'll pay the shop directly for you. So that's one of the one of the services we want to provide to the community.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I have a
there's
question.
okay.
Well,
Go
okay.
ahead.
About renting land. Okay, let me go. Renting land. Whoops. To RV people on homesteading land. Have you heard of this? That I guess the homesteaders are renting land to RVers.
Well, yeah, sure. Anybody who owns a piece of land can lease it. Come and stay on my land for $200 a month. You're
Mhm.
just basically just renting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then B&B Home asked, is there housing legislation coming regarding RV and van living? Heard there is a bill.
No, there are no federal restrictions on living in vehicles, if that's what she means.
Right. I
States,
guess.
cities in particular, have a lot of local city restrictions. You'll
Yeah.
find them a patchwork of them across the country. But as far as a federal, no, the feds don't care. We're not on
Okay.
their target list at all.
Great.
Okay.
Because that's what it said. It just said, had a question. Is there housing legislation coming regarding RV and van living? Okay.
A few
Okay.
years ago, somebody put out a video of making a big fuss out of absolutely nothing. And
Yes.
so every so often, people will run across that video and be afraid again. And that was just, it was, and I hate it when people do this. And they got a huge number of views. Fear sells. So,
Yeah.
but no, if she probably came across that from, it was probably 3-4 years ago at least. And it was nonsense then, and it's still nonsense now. The feds
Okay.
don't
Good.
care. There's no federal law about living in your vehicle.
Okay.
Okay.
Good deal. Good deal.
Lynn, I have a question. What do you prefer? Do you think diesel engine over a gas or vice versa?
I'm a big believer in gas because the diesel has a lot of advantages, but the newer ones since 2007, the EPA has put so many restrictions on particulate emissions,
Yeah.
and they have to. I'm not complaining about that. The diesels put out particulates that get in your lungs. They all do. It's just the nature of diesel. And it gets in your lungs and it never gets out. And so they put restrictions on the amount of particulates they can put out. And in the process of the EPA restrictions on emissions has made it so strict that the diesel engines have become high-tuned, really difficult to keep running, and you'll have less repairs. But when you do, and you will have repairs, and when you do have repairs, it will be many, many thousands. There are no $100 repairs virtually on a diesel engine. They're all in the many thousands. And so for the average person, after 2007, don't buy a diesel.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great information. You have given us some great information today. And we just
And I
want
want
to,
to say, yes. Well, can I read one more?
Yes, if you have another
All right.
question.
Well, no, B&B Home would like to thank Bob for his great instruction. We have a great van build. I am going to hear about info, but they want to thank you for the great instruction.
Good. Yeah. I just
all the information.
I want to let people know they have a choice, and even if it's not, even if living in a vehicle isn't the perfect choice for you, there are parts of it that will probably make your life better. And so, if you'll take those parts and just, most of us live in this country and never really see it because we can't afford it, we don't have time, and this is a way to get out and see this incredible country. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
amazing what's out there. Not only that, but there's another really important part of being able to travel and see the country. Nearly all of us have this fear that there are roving gangs of murderers out on the road, and
Yeah.
that just everybody's looking to steal from you and rob for you. This is just the mindset of the media in this country, and therefore it's become the mindset of a lot of us, this fear. I will
Yes.
guarantee you that if you will spend some time on the road, you will meet the nicest, friendliest, kindest people you can imagine. They outnumber the bad guys 10,000 to 1. And just seeing the goodness of human beings
Yeah.
and the beauty of this country, your life will be better if you'll just get out and look around a bit.
Oh, what a way to wrap things up. Wonderful words. And I'm going to tell you, Bob, we love your channel, and we're loyal viewers, aren't we, Lynn?
We are, Ann.
We will be watching all the wonderful videos to come. And I want to thank you, sir, so very much. It was such an honor that you're able to be here with us today. And we just want to say thank you so very, very much. And we'll be watching.
Very
We
good.
will. And
thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Great, gentlemen.
Great time to be together.
Yes. And
Bye, Bob.
And we will let you go. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye now.
Wow.
Oh, wow, Lynn. That was
Wow.
so fabulous. So fabulous.
Wow.
I know. You just got tongue-tied, and I did too.
Yeah, but I think once I got going, I did okay.
I think she took over, folks. I think she just took over.
Well, I've been watching him, and I've met some really other channels through Mr. Wells's YouTube. Like he said, I've watched Box Van DEE, and she's had so many health issues, but she's overcome them all, and not only like he said overcome, but she has triumphed over, and she's just a neat lady to watch. And there's just so many great channels out there, and for him to take a few minutes of his, he is very, very busy.
Yes. So we want everybody to go over there and sub to his channel, Cheap
Right.
Marketing. Go over there and subscribe to his channel so you can follow along with him and all the great videos that he puts out. And be sure to check his community tab you'll get those notifications if you hit the bell and you hit, you get
Right.
all the notifications. Same with us. If you're new to our channel, thank you so very much. Hit that subscribe and get the notification bell so you'll know when we go live. And we will be going live again next week on Wednesday. I've got to get my red book out, don't I? I got to get.
Do you have that keyed up at all?
No,
Can you key it up?
No, I do not. But I
Okay.
do. But we do have on March the 24th at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be RE55. And
yes, Ari _55, my dear.
Yes, his channel, RE_55.
All right, because he's in the house. We want to get that. We want to get it straight now.
Yeah, so I call him a
Renaissance man.
Yeah,
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
He's
Yeah.
just done a little bit of a lot, and still he's pursuing some really neat talents.
Yes. Yes. So we're looking so forward to that next week, Ari. We can't wait to
You
have
know,
you.
there were so many that joined us that we didn't give a shout out to. We just couldn't get everybody. But you know, Snafu Snaps too was in the house.
Oh, snap. Well, let's see. Let's see. Who else we got here, Lynn? I'm going to look over here. We've got Barefoot Lass, Travelers Guild, and Jean W. And Ari's there. Who else is there? B&B. Let's see. Homesteading in the
Oh,
Heart. Hi, Shannon. And let's see.
hi.
And we
Oh,
have
if you missed
the,
Shannon's interview,
oh,
they
yes.
can watch it.
Go back and watch our Homesteading in the Heartland interview with Shannon. Oh, boy, it was great.
You know what? Somebody, I think it was the major, said, Ann, where's your ink pen?
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm supposed to go like that. Hey, I didn't have a chance this time today. She was just on a roll. And just seconds before we went live, Lynn was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk. I'm so nervous. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk. And I said, oh, you'll be fine. I said, really? I said, really? You're nervous? And she goes, yeah. And she goes, I don't know if I'll be able to talk. Hey, I just had to sit back on this one. That's good, though. That's cool. That's great. No problem. No problem.
Oh, let me show you again. Let me show you again, everybody. This Bob, he reviewed. That's the word. It's called it says it's a TP solar panel. It's a panel.
I've got to get one. I need. Okay.
There you go.
So what can you plug into it?
It has four. There's the fourth one. Well,
okay. What? Show me the plugins. Okay.
Well, hold on just a minute.
Okay.
I'm not real good at.
Okay. Can I plug my phone into it? Does it have a phone?
Oh, here it is. It has 2 of the USB.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Yep. 2. Okay,
and there's to put your phone
in. Is that
in.
power? Oh, phone.
Right.
No. Your phone would be a USB.
Well, okay, or it could be okay, or I guess whatever you.
Does it come with a power charger?
No, we already have those.
How do you charge that?
No, this is just.
Okay.
It's solar.
But could you charge it?
The sun.
I understand, Lynn, but can you charge it with electricity?
Well, I had a piece of paper here. Hang on. Let me get my let me put it out here.
Yeah, Snafu says plug it in.
Okay, it has 2 USB outlets, a DC outlet, indicator light.
Okay, the DC is for a power supply. Did it come with a power supply?
No. No.
Okay.
It didn't come with the. No, hold it. Yes, it did. Hang on. Hold on.
It did.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yep. Come on, Lynn. Yeah, you can plug that in into the power plug in the wall socket. There it is.
It has a clamp. It has a thing for your lighter.
There you go.
You can charge it with your lighter.
Very good.
So here's what you do. Here's what you do, Ann.
Okay.
You take this right here.
Yeah.
You plug it in here.
Okay.
And you plug it in and so you can charge it with your battery while you're going down the road.
Very good. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I've got to get one of those. I think they're really cool. I think that would be great to have on a trip. Just when we take a trip, whenever we get to take a trip.
Hey, just a minute. Look what else
Ari said do the unboxing. Let's see. Travelers
Look
Guild,
here.
Goodbye. Come back again. Okay, show us, Lynn.
These must go on a battery.
Oh.
So you can charge it. So Anyway, it was a good deal.
Wait a minute. Let me see that again. Put it up there. Let me see that end. What's the book say about those
I
ends?
don't know. I haven't read the instructions. You know who my instruction man is in the house?
You haven't read the instructions?
No, I think that's the cameraman.
Oh, you're making a lot of crinkly noise.
So what? You asked.
I told her before we started too. She was rustling. She was rustling her papers. I said, "Don't do that. I hear it." They'll hear it. Don't do that. Oh, you guys, we're getting silly now. We're getting silly, but this has been a wonderful live stream with Mr.
Absolutely.
Bob Wells. What a gentleman.
Yes. What an honor to have such a man that has so much knowledge of the nomadic life and life in general. And but his expertise is the RV living life.
Yes, and such a gentleman. And so, I mean, I am thrilled that they answered. I'm always emailing people, would you please be our guest? And when I got back a response, I would about come out of my socks because
I know.
I just most of the time I don't expect to hear back from people. You just don't. I mean, I do it, I send off, be our guest, and then when that response come back, and I was really tickled pink. And I'm always tickled pink when you say, yes, I'll be on. So
now, can I say something about the movie he was in?
No.
I can. No, I cannot. Okay, he asked us not to. Okay.
You cannot.
Okay, well, we won't say it.
No. So, would you like to be on the Ann Lynn Show?
Right there.
Would you like to be on the Ann Lynn Show? Please email us. Please email us and join us. Everybody has a story. What is your story?
That's right.
Everybody has a story.
Now we are going to have a gal in April that I met in the beauty shop.
There you go. She has a story.
She said, I have a story. And I went, I'm sorry. It took me back for, a second. I went, you have a story? She said, I do. And she proceeded to tell me, and it's going to tug at your heartstrings from
tragedy to triumph is how I'm kind of coining it.
Yes. But in some ways, there's no triumph. In some ways, there's no triumph.
No.
Other ways, how
about
there is triumph.
How about taking a tragedy and making good of it?
I think that's it. I think that's what you're going to. She's going to share a tragedy that she turned around and good came out of a very sad tragedy.
Yes. So we'll just leave it at that. But yes, you have a story. What is your story? Let us know. Email me there at linann1740@gmail.com. And on that note, I've got to go.
We love each one. Oh, thank our moderators. Thank you, moderators.
Yes, thank you. We had Snafu, we had Helen, we had DeGurley, we had Barefoot Lass. Who else was in here today? I think that was all of our moderators. I don't want to miss.
I think that was our moderators, but we want to send them out with some granny kisses, don't we?
Well, of course. And I've got to go cook dinner.
Oh, I ate an early dinner. I'll have dessert.
You're gonna have
cameraman. Just a minute, cameraman. I know you're watching. Dessert time.
Oh, lucky you. Well, I'm gonna go cook, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go.
Okay. Bye, everyone. We love you.
Love you. Mwah. Granny kisses out. Mwah. Granny kisses out.
Bye.
And here we go. Goodbye. Mwah.